The next principle on our list is harmony. Harmony happens when visual elements relate to and complement each other. Harmony is a big part of what holds individual elements together visually to form a greater cohesive whole. Remember, we talked about not seeing individual elements and seeing the layout or what's on the screen as a whole. Harmony is a big part of that, as you will see. Harmony comes largely from rhythm, which we just talked about, and also from repetition, which of course is a contributing factor to how well rhythm works, or doesn't. This repetition re-emphasizes visual elements. It connects and creates areas of attention. I'm going to show you how this works. All right, take a look at these shapes and how they are aligned and work together. These blocks and this text are working in harmony with each other. That's because the blocks are aligned on both a horizontal and a vertical axis. There would be no harmony here if the shapes and the text or the placement of those things was random. And what I want you to notice is how the text is aligned to the edges of the block by the same amount of negative space in each instance, okay? Here's the negative space between each. You see how it's exactly the same everywhere? The space between the edges of the text and the edge of the shape is the same as the distance between the shape and the next shape. It's consistent. That harmony is what creates a unified whole. It's what creates the relationship between the text and the blocks. It's what holds this all together. It's like glue. Here's an example in a layout, okay? Take a look at this quick mobile app. If you break it down to its parts, what you have are a series of shapes all aligned by common distances. You see the same thing happening here that we just saw in the previous example. All those gutters, those areas of negative space are exactly the same. Notice how in the top two boxes, the upper shaded portions are exactly the same. The lower shaded portions are similar as well. And even when the length changes, that consistency, that harmony in the negative space between them is what holds them together as similar elements. So one way to think about harmony is that it's a visual echo. Different elements echo other elements. Attributes carry through a layout. I'm going to show you an example of how that works. You saw this layout in the very first lecture when I introduced the idea that, hey, print design is an awful lot like interactive design. In this layout for Dinosaur Magazine, notice how the shape of the text, okay, the overall negative and positive shape of the text on the left echoes the shape of the image on the right. That's how you create harmony in a layout. That's a visual echo. That's an obvious example, of course, of a visual echo. And the way that that presents itself in an interactive layout can be this obvious, but sometimes it's a lot more subtle, like this. All right, there's a lot going on here, but there is still a tremendous amount of harmony, and here's how that breaks down. If we take a style, okay, let's ghost this out a little bit. If we take a style like Shop Men's at the top, at the very top left, that typeface that's chosen there, that big, bold, black typeface, is not only used here, it's used in smaller sizes in department, style, size, price, all the way down that left nav. That's a visual echo. That's harmony. Now, by popularity up top, it's this magenta color that is echoed as well. In men's, tees, right? The subheads that you see in the left nav, it's also echoed underneath each product description where the prices are. That's a visual echo. Same goes for newest up at the top. It's a big, bold typeface, but that blue is echoed elsewhere. In the view all links next to the categories, in the individual subcategories under each category. This is an echo. It's similar. I also want you to pay attention to these little gray bars between the categories on the left. Okay, see those little arrows I just put there? That's harmony as well. That's consistency in how those things are treated, in how they're delineated, in how they're separated from each other. Harmony also happens in how the images are treated. Notice that they're all the same size and same shape with a blue box that communicates whatever the sale percentage happens to be in the bottom left. Same thing every time. That's harmony. That's visual echo. Also notice that the second and fourth items in each row have a slightly darker background. That too is harmony, and it's also rhythm, and it's also repetition, like we saw before. These are all the things that allow us to sort of quickly move through this layout. And finally, there's harmony again in the descriptions of each product. So the size, the shape, the placement of everything is also harmonious. Everything is working together in a very purposeful way. There are no accidents here. Okay, everything I just showed you didn't happen arbitrarily. It didn't happen because someone said, oh, that would look cool. This is all very purposeful. And I think that after you get through this course, you will be able to see in different layouts, in different screen UI designs, even if it looks good, you will be able to tell the difference between something that is purposeful and something that was just done because someone's decorating. They thought, oh, this would look cool.